Welcome to PowerStack with Ian Hong. Today, this section is about Ask Universe Your Questions. So, this session is dedicated to every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7:30 p.m. at Melbourne time. This time is dedicated to if you have any questions in your mind, especially when they are making decision related. All right, let's say you struggle to make a decision, and if you would like to know what sort of answer the universe can give you, you are more than welcome to join my live sessions and then drop the questions in the chat box. All right. So what is this all about? Okay, how does this work? So basically maybe you have a question like, how does this work? And then what sort of questions can I ask? Where will the answer be given? Is Ian going to answer my question? Okay, so first, I would like to explain the tool that I use. All right, the tool that is used for this prediction is called Men Dun Jia. Men Dun Jia in those days, back in China, it was used for war. It was used for fighting. All right, is this the good time to start a war against this country? If this is the good time, what sort of strategy should I use to attack the country, and what are the chances of me winning the war? So Men Dun Jia in those days, it was used for war. Okay, once we open up the Men Dun Jia board, and then the Men Dun Jia prediction board will show all the different symbols with different messages. What are the chances of like how likely you will win the war? Okay, that's one thing. And then secondly, you will know your strength, your weaknesses. Okay, and then thirdly, you will also know your opponent's strength and their weaknesses. Oh, very sounds like an occult power, isn't it? Like a magic. But anyway, let me finish first. And then in the board, because you know your strength and your weaknesses, you also know your opponent's strengths and weaknesses. So in the board itself, it will also tell you what sort of strategies you can use so the chance of you winning the war will be high. Okay, even if the board shows that this is not favorable to you. If you start the war now, sorry, it is not favorable. So you know this is not the right time to start the war, and so you can wait. Alright, so you don't have to spend so much money, so much energy, put so much effort, and then got all your soldiers killed and still lose the war. Right. So if you can know the answer one step in advance, it will certainly help us to do a better planning. It will certainly help us to reduce making silly mistakes in our lives. It will certainly help us to save our time, save our energy, and of course, save a lot of money. And so some people, they will say, Ian, there's no longer war here. We don't fight like that. Having said that, is there any competition at your workplace? Is there any competition in the market if you run your own business? there are definitely competitions. Alright, if you are employed, if you are working in a company, for you to receive a promotion, alright, if let's say the manager position is vacant, you have to compete with your colleagues, and they become your opponents. You have to know what your boss want, what your boss like. Then, if when you open the Men Dun Jia prediction board, it will show your strength, your weaknesses, your opponent's strength, your opponent's weaknesses, what they are doing, what actions they are going to do, and it will also show what your boss like, what your boss prefer, what sort of a person he do want to promote. All right, so if you know all these questions one step in advance before your opponents, before your colleagues, and you do accordingly to what is favorable, you know, what your boss favors, then the chances of you winning the game, the chances of you getting promotion is very, very high. Right. It's the same thing for business. If you run your own business, you will have a lot of questions. Should I invest in this project? Should I start this product? Does the market, or like what sort of response will come back from the consumers, from the customers? Is that going to be very welcome, or is that going to be very quiet? So these are all the questions you have in your mind. And then if you want to invest in a product, like a research, R&D, research and development, how much budget you want to put it into? Let's say now you have got a new product launch. Should I advertise or should I not advertise? And what are the ways should I advertise? Let's say you have 4 options, 5 options. Do you want to advertise in Facebook? Do you want to advertise in YouTube? Do you want to do Google ads? Or do you want to do TikTok ads, or what's that? Instagram ads? So there are so many options to go. And which one is the best for you to target? For all these questions, the Men Dun Jia prediction board can tell you. And of course, in this Men Dun Jia prediction is that I will not share my personal opinions. I will not give you any personal suggestions. I will only help you to interpret all the messages from the board. Because this Men Dun Jia prediction is that the moment you ask a question, you actually open a door of the universe. 奇门 means the mystical doors. There are 8 mystical doors, like strange doors, like the weird doors. Okay, 奇门. Qi is actually like very strange, very weird, you know. Men is the door. So there are actually 8 very mystical doors to be opened. And that is according to the time of the universe, the time of the earth, and also the time of the human when you ask the question. So when you ask a question, you will be opening one door out of these 8 doors. And accordingly, when you ask the question, at this moment, at this time, according to the question you ask, the answer is hiding in one of the mystical doors as well. So the answer is hiding in one of the mystical doors. It might be a different door, or it might be in the same door as where you are. So that is 奇门遁甲. And once you open the door, that's where you receive the answers. So the answers, they are basically mainly 4 layers, actually 5 at least. Yeah, and then 6 and 7. Anyway, I'll first explain. The door is 1 layer, okay? Okay, that's the door. And then once you open the door, there are 3 more layers inside. The first layer is the message from the universe, the message from the sky, from, or you call from heaven, the time of heaven, the time of the universe. Because when you ask the question at that time, in this space, the universe will respond at that time. So that answer is only applicable to you, not applicable to anyone who is watching this, but only for you, because you asked the question. The rest who are watching, they didn't ask any question. So that answer is only for you, not for them, not for me as well. Okay? So that is the first layer, answer from the universe, or according to the time of the universe. And then the second layer is the time of the earth, because we live on the earth. So the earth has its own time as well. And then the earth will bring a different message. And the third layer is the human. The human, because the human has to take action, right? And it is the human who asked the question. It is the human who needed the answer. And it is the human who has to carry out the action. To fight or not to fight. To advertise or not to advertise. To penetrate the market or just stay calm. You know? So it is the human. The human is a very significant factor, whether it's in feng shui or in 奇门遁甲 prediction. So, and now we will look at what sort of question to ask. How should we ask questions, and what sort of question to ask? All right, so let's say you went for an interview. You would like to know if you will get this job or not. Then your question will be, will I get this job? Right? Will I get this job? So this is your question. Then you can open up 奇门遁甲 prediction and look, will you get this job? Yes or no? If you get this job, then maybe the next question you might have will be, is working in this company good future? Right? How is the boss? Is the boss a nice boss, or a boss who will always pick on me? So there are many things you can see in the 奇门遁甲 prediction board. So if you have any questions, you can actually leave your question in the chat box. I can check out for you. I can help you to interpret the symbols in the 奇门遁甲 prediction board. Just first type your date of birth and then followed by your question. And then maybe other than these questions, you might have another question. Let's say you run a business, right? And then you want to know, you run a business and you would like to advertise your products. So then your question will be, should I advertise or just leave it, Then your question will be, will doing advertisement good for me? Then the next question, will doing advertisement make good enough profit back for me? Or is that going to waste my time and money to do advertisement, right? And then the next question will be, how much budget should I invest into advertising my product? These are all good questions, valid questions, right? So the more specific your question is, the more accurate the answer will be. If you only ask a question, will I get rich? Will I get rich? So questions like that, it is not specific, and so there wouldn't be answer in the Men Dun Jia prediction board. Okay? So, yeah, when you ask, will I become rich? This question is blank. This question is invalid. This is as though you are asking, will I get married next year? Or will I meet someone who loves me? So you have to ask questions that are specific to your situation. Okay? If you ask a blank question, will I get rich tomorrow? Or is it good to start a business? Is doing business good for me? These questions are blank questions because this is as though you are asking a question, will I pick up a bag of gold tomorrow? Will the sky fall a lot of money into my house tomorrow? So all those questions are blank. So the more specific the question is, the more accurate and precise answers you will receive. So if you have any questions, you are more than welcome to leave your question in the chat box. And the good news is, for the first person who asks question, you don't have to give me your date of birth. Only for the first person who asks question. For the second person onwards, you will have to give me your date of birth. So if you have any question now, go ahead, type your question in the chat box. If you don't want everyone to know your date of birth, this is the time. Be the first one who asks question. Any question from anyone? The fun thing about Men Dun Jia is, Men Dun Jia can also look at the feng shui of your house. Okay. Men Dun Jia can also look at the feng shui of your house, but only if you ask a question. And if some items in your house is blocking your luck, let's say some items is creating obstacles in your life and it has to be related, that is blocking obstacles in the case you are asking. In Men Dun Jia, we can see which section of your house and what item that is blocking your luck, blocking your life. Okay, has anyone got any questions would like to ask today? Come on, come on. All of you are so shy. Or maybe all of you have a good life, right? That you don't have to make any big decision in your life, that you are very clear, you know what to do. Let me share you a story. Let me share you a story. In the history, there are a few people who are very famous in using this 奇门遁甲 prediction as a tool to help them to fight in the war. Not that fighting as in just fighting, but they are very famous. There are a few very famous people who are very good at using, adapting the strategies in 奇门遁甲. That's why when they started the war, it is almost every time they just won the war. They just won everything. There's as though no one time they lost the war in the history. So one of these very famous people who are so good in using 奇门遁甲, one of them is called 孔明, or sometimes we call him 诸葛亮. Okay, 诸葛亮. So let me share you one story. This is real. These are all real in history. So 诸葛亮, he wasn't the king or emperor, but he was a very strong right hand of Emperor Liu Bei. Okay, so at that time, that was during the Sanguo. Well, that's a lot of history anyway. So that was about 2,000 years ago, 2000 something. Yeah, about 2000, more than 2,000 years ago, nearly 2,500 years ago. About that, nearly 2,500 ago during Sanguo time. So that time, China was separated into three main sections. All right, that's why it's called Sanguo. San is three, and Guo is country. So that time, the map of China was divided into three sections. Okay, so so this Emperor Liu Bei, okay, he was in the south section of China, and of course, the very famous right hand of his 诸葛亮, you know, was his like a consultant, okay, like a consultant. Yeah, so there was one time the country from the north, all right, that is what's the name, Cao Cao, okay, the Emperor Cao Cao from the north section, he wanted to fight with Liu Bei. And so in those days, it was very funny is that if you want to start a war with your neighbor country, you have to write them a letter. Tell them, I am coming to challenge your territory. On this day, at this time, at where we will start the war. If you lose, I'm going to take over your territory of which part, and certain part, you know. So in those days, even before starting the war, they are very gentle. They will inform you beforehand, they will give you, we call it 挑战书. It's like they will give you a letter of challenge, telling you that I am going to challenge you. I am going to challenge your territory on this day at this time, and then we will meet there to start our fight. So, this very famous person, Zhuge Liang, who was very, very good at 奇门遁甲 prediction. He is, until today, he is so famous because he could use this 奇门遁甲 prediction so well to help Emperor Liu Bei that almost they never lose a war in the history. Even if they didn't win, at least they didn't lose. You know, it's just so famous. He helped Emperor Liu Bei to save so much people, lives, their soldiers, their energy, their effort and money. It's just so famous. So this Emperor Liu Bei, he received a letter of challenge from Cao Cao, and then Liu Bei and asked Zhuge Liang, what should we do? And then Zhuge Liang, he opened up this 奇门遁甲 prediction, and then he called, okay, all right, so we will reply to Cao Cao, of course. Yes, we have to take the challenge, but I want to do it on this day, at this time, and then I want the war to be in the ocean. In the ocean, okay? I don't know which big river, you know? Yeah, it's about water. So the Zhuge Liang wanted to start the war in the water instead of on the land. So he actually opened up this 奇门遁甲 prediction, and then he counted, okay, so in that, and he knew what sort of strategy he has to use so that the chances of him winning the war is high. So Cao Cao, he came from the north. He had a lot of soldiers, at least 100,000 well-trained soldiers coming down from the north to the south. He had 100,000 very strong and very tough soldiers coming down from the north to challenge Liu Bei. Whereas Liu Bei, the country, they didn't have so many soldiers. All right, I don't remember how many, maybe 20,000 or something. I don't exactly remember the numbers now, but it's always like that. Cao Cao always had a lot of soldiers, a lot of weapons, but Liu Bei, as a small country, they only have very little resources, very little soldiers. And how Liu Bei always win the war? Because of Zhuge Liang. Because Zhuge Liang is so well in using 奇门遁甲 prediction. That's why he always saved Liu Bei. He always saved the country. Until Cao Cao passed away, still Cao Cao couldn't take over Liu Bei's country. It is true in the history. And then come back to that war. That was a very famous war in the history. We call it 赤壁之战. In the sense that there is no way Liu Bei could win the war because the number of soldiers they had was so little, like only, I really don't remember the number, but it was just so little, like 20,000. Whereas Cao Cao, he had easily 100,000 tough soldiers, well trained, whereas the soldiers from Liu Bei's side, they were only ordinary people, the farmers, the poor people trying to save their land, save their home. So what happened was, because Zhuge Liang, okay, the very famous person who is so well versed in using Men Dun Jia, Zhuge Liang had already predicted that on that day, at that time, there's going to be windy, and the wind direction will be coming from the east. It will be coming from the east. And then he also calculated, because Cao Cao, they came from the north side. So the north was, I mean, even now the north section of China is always dry. It's pretty much like a desert in those days. All right. So Cao Cao and his soldiers coming from the north side, they are not good with water at all. Only the people, the soldiers from the south China, they are good with water. All right, from the north side, no, because it's always dry. It's just like a desert. So Zhuge Liang, he predicted according to the Men Dun Jia prediction. He knew that Cao Cao, his opponent's strength, that they had a lot of soldiers, they are well trained, they are strong, they are tough. And he also predicted that the soldiers of his opponents are not good with water. All right, so he suggested we will start the war in the water. Okay. So what happened was, on top of that, Zhuge Liang also predicted, because these soldiers, they're coming from the north, they are not good with water, and so when they came from their big ship, and because that day was a bit windy, so they will actually use the chain to chain all their ships. You know, they came down in thousands and thousands of ships, right? So because the ship will be very shaky, it will rock, okay? All the ship will be very rocky because of the wind, because of the strong wind. So they will actually use big chains to chain all the ship from one after another to hold the ship, to stable the ship, so that they will not rock so hard. It's good for them to fight. Yeah. He also predicted that at what time suddenly the wind will come from the east side. So this is a very famous saying that we said Zhuge Liang borrowed the wind from the east. Yeah, it's very famous in the history. You can Google it, you can ask ChatGPT, you can ask Gemini or whatever software you like. You can ask them. It's so famous in the history. And what happened? So they met at Changjiang. Changjiang is I think it's Changjiang, the very famous river in China. So they met there. And then when the time, that hour, suddenly suddenly, I mean not suddenly, anyway, it was predicted. When the time came, let's say it was 3 o'clock, that the wind will start to blow from the east. Alright, let's say it's 3 o'clock. And then the moment the wind came from the east, what Zhuge Liang did was, what they prepared was, they prepared, I don't remember the number now. Yeah, I studied a long time ago. They prepared thousands, tens of thousands of bow and arrow. They prepare all the arrows, and then at the tip of the arrows, they wrap it up with all the dry hay. With all the dry hay, they put on some oil and they light the hay. They light the hay with fire. So the moment, let's say 3 o'clock, the wind started to come from the east, and then Zhuge Liang ordered all his soldiers, shoot the arrow. Shoot the arrow now. So what happened was, because because that arrow, it's all come with fire, right? The moment they shoot the arrow to Cao Cao's shape, they only had to aim on a few shapes, and then because all Cao Cao shape, they are chained with all the big chain to stable the shape, right? To stop them from rocking. And so without even fighting, they just shoot the arrow with fires, and that is how they just won the war like that. Because Cao Cao's soldier, their opponents, the opponents was that they are bad with water. They couldn't adapt the weather in the south. They couldn't adapt fighting the war in the water, and that's why they chain all their thousands of sheep with big tough chain. The moment one sheep got into fire, and because the wind was coming from the east, suddenly all thousands of all their ships just got fired. So many soldiers, they just died. They just got defeated by fire. So in that case was that in Zhuge Liang's team, okay, in his team, they didn't even fight. They didn't even lose a soldier, or not really. You know, they didn't really. They didn't even have to fight hard, and they got to protect their own territory. With such a small number of soldiers, challenging such a huge 100,000 tough, strong, well-trained soldiers, without have to use physical power. They only use strategies. Strategies from Men Dun Jia. And that's just how they saved their own land. That's just how they won the war. That's just how Cao Cao just ran away with fear. So in that case, if you feel that you are nobody, if you feel that you are very small, if you feel that your future is not clear, if you feel that you might not be the one who received the promotion, or you think that your company is too small to compete with other big companies in the market, there are strategies you can use, and everything is inside Men Dun Jia prediction. It is a good tool to use to help us. It is a good tool to save us time. It is a good tool to save our energy, to save our money. It is a very useful tool. when to fight, how to fight, how much to prepare, how can I maximize my profit, how can I minimize expenses. So if you have any questions, you are more than welcome to leave your question in the chat box. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 7:30 p.m. Melbourne time, this is the time I can help you to interpret the symbols and messages coming from the universe. And Men Dun Jia is the tool I use to show you the answer. I won't share my personal opinions inside. I won't give you my personal advice, and I will only help you to interpret all the messages coming from the board, the Men Dun Jia board. You are more than welcome to leave a question in the chat box. Of course, the more specific your question is, the answer will be more accurate and more precise. Okay, more precise. Ask specific questions. So the last session we had Katrina from Hong Kong asking questions that she would like to know. She had a client's project or something. She would like to know if the commercial property project, will the commercial property project be completed end of this year? So that is a valid question because that question is very specific. Okay, asking, will this project completed in end of this year? So the answer is a yes or no, right? And although at that time the message from Men Dun Jia was not so likely, but in the Men Dun Jia board, I also saw that there are a few small things in her house that needed to be fixed. Because those few small items are blocking her luck. Those few small items are the obstacles that are creating issues in the project. So I asked her, can you check the south section of your house? Is there any iron bar that are rusty, a bit rusted, look a bit ugly? So immediately she went to check and she said yes. The south section is the bathroom, and the drawer bar, right? You pull out the drawer, the drawer bar is rusted. And so I told her, you have to fix that. If you fix that, after fixing it, then you can come back again to ask the question. If you don't fix that, 100% sure, or maybe 99% sure, the obstacles will remain. So that is the beauty of Men Dun Jia. It's not just about prediction, whether will you get this or not, whether you will get a job or not, but also there are some actions you can do. It's not being passive, waiting for the luck to fall from the sky. Is there going to be free lunch for me tomorrow, Ian? No. there are definitely something you can do. You can take the initiative to make it better. Just like last week in Katrina's place, she can actually fix the rusty bar, give it a good touch, a good clean, or take it away, put on a new one. There are something definitely she can do. Have you got a question? You can take the initiative to make your life better instead of just sitting and waiting and doing nothing and see what will happen. The question can be related to yourself, can also be related to your family. Now, let me share you another scenario. These are real cases, okay? A member actually asked about I think her mom's health. Anyway, there are many people asking different questions, but I just remember one case that her mom has been fighting for I don't remember what illness, fighting for an illness in her body, and the doctor suggested her to undergo an operation. So her question was that should no wait wait, her mom actually went for the operation, and after the operation nothing much was changed, right? You see, nothing much was changed, not getting much better. And then the doctor also suggested her something else. So she actually came and asked, it's been a while. Should I continue listening to this doctor, or is there any alternative? So we open up the Men Dun Jia prediction, and in that case, of course, we needed her mom's date of birth, but not her date of birth. All right. So we look at her mom's, where her mom is, which door her mom opened, and then we look at the doctor, where the doctor is, and then we look at the illness, where the illness is, and then in that case we actually saw that the doctor was not actually helping to cure the illness. It's shown in 奇门遁甲. It showed like that. On top of that, we also saw that the illness is how should I say that? The illness is sticking with her mom. The illness doesn't want to leave her mom. It's sticking, it's very holding her, catching her very tightly. The illness doesn't want to leave the mom, or is sticking together with her. But the doctor is not able to cure the illness. And then so we are trying to look for what are the other alternative, any other options to cure the illness. It sounds very strange, right? That's why it's called the strange door, 奇门, the strange door, the mystical door. And then we look at the qi men dun jia other doors. What other doors can actually help to, to control the illness? And so we saw that using the traditional way, okay, like herbalist or Ayurvedic or the old school way, can actually help to control the illness better. Interesting, right? Very strange. It sounds very strange. So we saw that using the traditional way like Ayurvedic or herbalist can control the illness better. Then so in that case, you got the answer. Instead of blindly listening to the doctor, she went for one first operation and after that didn't get well, and the doctor suggested her to do something else and then something else and something else, but nothing has changed. So what should you do? Should you keep, burning your money, just throwing your money into the sea, into the ocean, and then not sure if you are getting results? And undergoing an operation is a big thing. It hurts your body very much. Every operation will hurt your body, will cause a lot of damage to your body every time. And so what should you do? Should you continue listening to the doctor, to the specialist, or is there really an alternative? So in that qi men dun jia prediction, we saw that the traditional way, like going to the herbalist or the Ayurvedic, can help to control the illness. And so now you know what to do. And of course, that qi men dun jia prediction at that time was only applicable to her mom. It's not applicable to you. It's not applicable to anyone who are watching. It's not applicable to me because we didn't ask the question. Okay? We didn't ask the question. So don't think that it's always the same answer. No. That answer was only for her mom because she asked the question. Okay? So that's the beauty of qi men dun jia. Strange door, qi men, very strange door. It is very, very strange. So if you have any question, you struggle to make decision in your life, and you try not to pay a very expensive tuition fee to get a life lessons, qi men dun jia can help you. And my role here is just to help you to interpret the message from qi men dun jia prediction. I won't share any personal opinion. I won't give you any personal suggestions because I'm just here to help you to pass the message. That's so simple. If you struggle to make decisions, especially life decisions, you really don't have to pay an expensive tuition fee. So if you are interested, not interested or not, if you have a question, just leave your question in the chat box. For the first person is, you don't have to give me your date of birth. And that is only for the first person. And that is the rule for qi men dun jia. Okay? It's not a rule that I set. That is the rule for qi men dun jia. It's universal. No matter where you are from, what occupation you are doing, or you run your own business, you're single, married, with children, without children, no matter what age you are, studying, working, running your own business, as long as you want to live a better life, you want to make the right decision, the best decision for you. Because when you ask the question, the answer coming from the qi men dun jia, it's only applicable to you. I can't use that answer because I didn't ask the question. That answer is only for you. Personalized, tailored. When you ask the question, in this space, at this time, alright, the answer that you trigger, the door that you open, is only for you. I don't care how many people are watching, but the answer is not for anyone else but you. I have a message. Hi Katrina, how are you? Let me see what Katrina message is. Hi Master Ian, I just want to share that I cleaned the iron bar at myself. And you mentioned Southwest has either a burnt cable or spoiled light bulb. And when I check direction again, it's right. I have a candle. Hi, you see? Thank you, Katrina, for sharing. Thank you very much. Did you throw the candle away? Yeah, you threw it away. Very good. Did the candle look ugly? I guess the candle looked very ugly. Was that right, Katrina? That's a good thing you are doing. It's inside cause it's not really working anymore. Yeah. So all this, when something they are not working in our house, they affect our luck. They create obstacles in our way. The glass is burned, Katrina said. That's right. Burned by the candle. Good on you, Katrina. Congratulations. And thank you so much for, coming back with the feedback. So, have you got a question today, Katrina, about yourself, about your son and daughter, about your husband or wife, other than just job, about life? I mean, if you have a question, you are more than welcome to just drop your question in the chat box, and I will be using Men Dun Jia to help you to interpret the message. Anyone, if you struggle to make a decision, or maybe not really struggle, at times we just want to make the best decision for ourselves, right? We just want to make the best decision, like which school should my children go to, the international school, the local government school, or there's another school which is very famous, so which school is the best for my son, which school is the best for my daughter? There are questions like that too. Will I get this job? After an interview, will I get this job? So if you know you are getting this job, by all means go ahead. If you know the chances is quite low, then don't waste time. Start looking for another job. Right? Anyone? Any questions? If you have a question, you are welcome to drop your question in the chat box. That will certainly give you a clear mind on what what to do. There is a shortcut. You can use shortcut for your life. You don't always have to pay for a heavy and expensive lesson. For example, you hunted a house, a new place, and you think that is good. Is that house going to be good for you? Should I buy this house? Is this house going to be good for me? You know? You are thinking, Katrina? Now you struggle to think about question. Should you buy a car? Should you change a car? Hmm? Okay. Let's see, what question is that? From Katrina. There is a skincare I'm using and I do like it. Enjoy as a member. But do you see it worth my time to venture into it as a business? Or it's better just be user and not put much time to it? So you are asking, is this skincare a good business for you? Right. And then do you have the next question like, will it make me money? You have to type the question there and ask. You have to ask. I can only give you a hint. You have to ask the question. Now you ask the first question. Is this skincare business good for me? You ask the first question. Now second question, you want to ask, it's of course about money, alright? So you have to type the question there and you ask it. I can only give you a hint, but you have to ask it. But you have to ask it. Yes, if I do this business, will it make money for me? And is it suitable for me to venture into build teams? Now here's the third question about building teams. So this business is more like a members sign up, you pull people into your team, right? You ask people to join your team, that kind of business, right? Is that right? Yeah. So you have upline and then downline, that kind of business. Like what do you call that? MLM, right? Multi-level marketing. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so now, let's see. Yeah. Where is my Men Dun Jia? So Katrina, the first person who asked question, doesn't have to give me any date of birth. So Katrina is in Katrina is in Xiumen. And then the business, oh, 土生金. Katrina is a boss. Today again, at this time, it's still showing you Katrina is a boss. Very accurate. Katrina the boss. Katrina the boss currently is a bit 有啲迷茫啊. You understand Cantonese, right, Katrina? You're from Hong Kong. Currently, 你有少少迷茫啊. As in English, as in you are not sure to do or what to do. A bit not too sure. 有少少迷茫啊. Alright? And Katrina is also very ambitious. Katrina said yes, that's why I'm asking you. Katrina is also very ambitious. And then we look at the business. Okay, now first we look at the business. The business is, I think the products are quite expensive, right? The products are quite expensive, or the brand is like a very high class brand or something. Is that correct? Cost a lot of money. Is that correct, Katrina? Oh, it's affordable. Okay. Is that like a high brand, like high class brand or something? Can be affordable as well. Not expensive, like Llama. The products are affordable, not expensive, like Llama. I'm not sure what Llama. But it's a good product as my skin so much nicer now. Okay, very good. The business looks like a very good business. But if you venture into the business, it would drain you out. It would drain you. It would take you a lot of time. It would take you a lot of effort. It would take a lot of energy. It would drain you out. The business is a good business, but it would drain you out a lot. And then we look at the money symbol. And then we look at the money symbol. The business doesn't really bring you money right away at this stage. This is what I can see. The business doesn't bring you money at this stage. You are keen to start the business, but it will really drain you out very much, Katrina. And at this stage, what I can see is you won't make money so fast. It might take a long time. There are many things you have to do to make money, and that's why I said it will drain you out. Okay. Maybe, are you happy with the answer? This answer is only applicable to Katrina, not to anyone else who is watching. And also Katrina, now Katrina said, okay, thanks, I understand what you mean. So I got to be mindful of how I utilize my time. Yes, thanks, I got my answer. And Katrina, again in the southwest section of your house, it's southwest again. I think there are some water or water bottles with some water there. You might want to clean them up or throw them away or put them at a side, at somewhere else if you still need to use them. In the southwest section, oh yes, that is right. You mean that is right, right? In the southwest section, there are some water bottles, or some water in the southwest section. You have to clean those water up or take it away or throw them away, tip them away. It's a bit messy, I can see, with all those water bottle. I have a container with water. Southwest. Either you put it at another section if you have to use that again, or you just tip the water away. That water is blocking your luck. Okay? Do you like qi men dun jia? Is this fun? I use it for watering plants. So it's a container with water. You water the plants. Right. And after that, you didn't finish the water. That's why the water is still there. Yeah. You have to tip the water away. Yes, I do. It's fun, right? That's why I want to share like how fun qi men dun jia is. That's why I dedicated everyone every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 7:30 p.m. Melbourne time. This time is for you to ask any questions, and the universe will answer. And I'll be using the qi men dun jia as a tool to do all these predictions. I will only help you to interpret the message from qi men dun jia board. I won't be sharing my personal opinion or giving you any personal suggestions, because my role is just to support you, to help you to make a better decision, the best decision for yourself, for your life. Just like now, Catherine, she knows that if she goes into this skincare business, it would drain her out. It would drain her energy, it would drain her time, and it would drain her money out, And in the meantime, it won't give her profit. So, by just checking the answer, by just knowing that one thing in advance, Katrina saved her time. She will invest her time into something else which is going to give her more return. She will save her energy to do something more meaningful. She won't spend all her time trying to recruit a team, to persuade people, come and join my team, this skincare product is good. That will save her so much time, so much energy, walking the right path. 唔使行冤枉路啊 Katrina, you see, you don't have to climb the wrong stairs and then you climb down again, and climb another stairs. This will help us so much. It's such a blessing. It's such a blessing, like really. Okay, Katrina said, I mean, don't waste the water. I'll use it for the plants instead of throwing it away. Yeah, of course. You love Men Dun Jia. I know I'm a chef lady. 子府王, yeah, that's right. Yes, exactly. Time is precious. That's right. And Katrina, for the boss symbol, you call it the chef deity, is it? 子府, Fu. Okay. So in this, what Katrina said, the chef deity, I don't know how you translate it in English because I don't check that out. But in Chinese, it's called 子府, Fu. Okay, 子府. So Katrina, you have a mission for this 子府 symbol. Okay, chief, not chef. Oh, sorry, chief. Yeah, chief, not chef. Chief executive. Okay, for this 子府 symbol is that what you have to do. You have to do something that is good for everyone, that is beneficial for everyone, because you carry a mission. The chief carry a mission. You are like the leader. All right, you want to support your people, you want to help your people. So whatever you do, it has to be righteous. It has to be right, especially for people with this 子府 symbol. I'm also a 子府, really. I am inborn. My 奇门遁甲 is inborn. I am a 子府. That's why everything I do, it has to be beneficial to people. It has to be helping the people. It has to be come with a mission, and it has to be with good intention. Never take any shortcut just try to make fast money. Never take any shortcut just to get famous or get a status. You know, never try to do anything underground. This is very important because you are the inborn leader. You came with a mission. You are born with a mission. You want to serve the people. And that is the meaning of this 子府. Because I am also a 子府. That's why everything I do, I want to make sure that is righteous, that is helping the people, supporting the people. I came with a mission, I know. And never take shortcut, never do anything underground, cheating, conning people, never do anything like that. So that is the message of 子府. Yes, help people. That is meaningful to people. Bring meaning to people. Yes, which is what you are doing now. Awesome. Great. Because that is very important. You are the inborn leader, Katrina. Are you? The chief. And that's also what I'm doing now. Cheers. Katrina says, that's what people say, even looking at my face features. Wow. Then tell me about my face feature. Do I look like a 知府? Do I look like a leader? Katrina, do you have a Facebook account? Of course, you are the boss too. Have you got a Facebook account, Katrina? Would you like to do me a favor? A small favor? Would you like to go to my Facebook account, put up a post, take a few photos of what I found in your house, like the water, the bar, or whatever, and then put a post on my Facebook page? Now I'm putting my Facebook page link here. Go ahead and like and follow, okay? And then take a few pictures of what, just one picture will do. Post it on my Facebook page, and then start with the sentence, "This is so amazing. This is so amazing." And then whatever you want to say, Ian just found this, and that, and then you make up your story, and then at the end, put this sentence: Ian is truly the best feng shui master. Okay. This is so amazing. And then you complete the story like what we found in the Men Dun Jia. Post the picture and then end with the sentence, Ian is truly the best feng shui master. Maybe I say a great feng shui master. Oh, okay, yeah, that would be great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Katrina. That will help people to know. Thank you. I love you, Katrina. I will be waiting for your post. Always happy to help spread your word. Thank you, Katrina. Come back anytime when you want to make the next decision. It will save us so much time, really. Save us so much energy to walk the right path, to climb the right ladder for ourselves, for our own life. Whatever Men Dun Jia can predict is only something related to you when you ask the question. No matter how many people are watching this video, the answer is only for the person who asked the question, not for anyone else who is watching the video. And that answer is also not for me as well, because I didn't ask the question. Alright? That answer, the door that's open in Men Dun Jia, is only for the one who asked question. Yeah, Qi is a very interesting topic. Yes, it is. That's why I like Men Dun Jia. And again, as a zifu myself, that's why I am willing to dedicate my time. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7:30 p.m. Melbourne time, drop me your question and the universe will answer. Men Dun Jia is the tool we have been using thousands of years in the history. And it is so accurate. Even you don't win the war, at least you don't lose your time, you don't lose your energy, you don't waste your money. Okay? The time now is 8:55 p.m. in Melbourne. I have last 5 minutes to answer one last question. If you have a bursting question, just drop it in the chat box. Okay, a question from Katrina. But I'm curious why Southwest and South affect the luck, not other sectors. This is a good question. Okay, according to the time when you ask the question, and according to the space at that time when you ask the question, you triggered the door in the south and the door in the southwest on that day. All right, back to that, the last section when you ask, you triggered the door in the south and the door in the southwest. Okay, you only open the doors that are related to you, the case, and the questions you ask. You didn't trigger other sections. And this is just what the universe is. I can't tell you why, you know, why south, why southwest, This is just what the universe is. This is just what the energy is. And our ancestor taught us how to calculate this energy. Just like that. Okay? Does this answer your question? I don't decide which section you open the door, because when you ask the question at that time, under this space, you trigger the door yourself. I don't choose the door for you. No. Does that make sense? Okay. Any other question? The last question. We have 3 more minutes before 9. Any last questions before we call it the end for tonight? Okay, I hope it makes sense, because I don't decide which door to open for you. You open the door yourself with the questions and the case that you ask. Two more minutes before I go to bed. One last question from anyone? One last question. 1 minute to 9. Haha. So that's the beauty of Men Dun Jia. According to the question you ask, and according to the person who asked the question, according to the case, the person who asked the question, you triggered different doors in different sections, right? There are 9 sections: north, south, east, west, northwest, southwest, northeast, southeast, and the center. So there are 9 sections. Okay, so you trigger the door, and accordingly, when you open the door, that's where the message is. Okay, I don't choose which door you open. According to this time, under this space, you trigger the door yourself. I don't choose for you. And then according to the questions, what it is related, if it is business related, we open the business door. We look at the business door. If it is job related, we open another door that is job related. They are different. If you ask about sickness, illness, you look at another symbol. You trigger another door. If you look at doctor, it can be in another door, or it can be in the same door, depends. All right. And then you ask about, are you wedding or herbalist? It will open another door. You know, there are many things you can play with. Okay, so to answer Katrina's question, why South and Southwest? Because you open the door yourself. I don't open the door for you. Okay, so Katrina says, I'm writing a review for you now. As I can't write a post on your Facebook page. Oh, okay. Okay, great. A review will be great. Thank you, Katrina. I am looking forward to receive your review on my Facebook page. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Thank you everyone who is watching, and I mean, by all means, if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat box or join PowerStack portal. That's where all the members can post their questions. And even if you would like me to scan to x-ray the feng shui of your place, all right, there are many different methods we use in feng shui. One of the methods I use is x-ray scan. So if you would like to get second opinion from me, you are more than welcome to post your photos, some photos of your house in the PowerStack portal. There's a chat room. There's where all members will post their questions and photos. If you don't want to be known who you are, just use your nickname. Okay? Just use your nickname. And as I said for Zifu, is that me as an inborn Zifu, my life is just have to be dedicated to people, like for the well-being of people, so that's why I just have to do what is the mission that I carried when I was born. And so thank you very much for everyone who is watching and staying with me, and especially thank you, Katrina. Thanks for your questions, so that all the audience will have fun and learn something. And also thanks for your time, so willingly to write a review. I will be waiting for your review, and see you in the next video. Bye bye. Good night. Good night, 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 everyone.